Hey everybody, welcome back. On this episode I'm going to show you how I laid track across the drop gate and got staging done. Stick around and see me make a few mistakes and fix them. Well, we're back and I'm focusing my attention on the staging area and the drop gate. So last night I started gluing this track down onto the drop gate, and then the transition here, since that one was going right into a turnout, there's not going to be anything to cut. So just move these out of the way and see what things look like. Seems like it's lined up pretty well. Got a test car on there. I think that's going to work. Yeah, doesn't seem to be derailing. Okay. One of the things I did, especially as I was trying to line these two tracks up, the gate was a little high. So I originally was using, I'll just move underneath and show you. I was originally using these kind of clips where the one side reaches out. Let me just change angles here. This piece, comes over and catches the main layout and then pulls tight. And actually, that's not even very tight. There we go. Got it. Okay. I was trying to do that. I was doing it on both sides. And the way that this one lined up was pulling the gate too high. So I thought, let me try a different way. I've seen some other guys using these bolt latch things. So I got a couple of those on Amazon. Put them in last night, and I think I'm going to take this out and leave this one in and use these 3 latches to hold this straight. So that's the plan, and how things look. I knew this was going to be, with my carpentry skills and stuff, probably one of the bigger challenges of finishing the layout off. Just to show the rest of the gate there. There's the big hinge. That's probably not perfectly straight, which is contributing to the tilt here. And if I pull back as far as I can, you can see the whole thing is on a bit of an angle. It's not a rectangular piece. So that also adds to my trouble. So I think this is going to work. I think my next step's probably to go back up top and start cutting those rails that I did run across with the jeweler's saw. All right, I started with that guy, like a medium blade, and I went to the coarsest blade it came with, and I just couldn't get it going at this flat angle I just couldn't get it to bite into the rail. So went out to the shed and got that guy. And it made a little bit of a rougher cut, but still, I think that'll work. I've got some couple places to clean up where, it's hard cutting something on a totally flat surface like this, but I think that'll work. And as I come over to this side, it was nice that I did this part to get this perfectly level before I make this cut. But now that that's in, this cut is going to be a little harder because I don't want to knock, as I'm sawing across here, I don't want to knock into that. So yeah, more problem solving. We'll figure it out. And I'm right-handed, so it won't work for me to come on the other side because Manchester's in the way. So I need to be on this side. I will figure it out. More to come. Well, the hacksaw did bump into that other turnout, so in the end, came back to the trusty Dremel. And it's not pretty. I need to clean it up, but the rails are cut. I'll probably pull those extra ties out. I do think I'm going to put nails in between the ties on either side of the seam to kind of hold everything straight, and cross my fingers and hope for the best. More to come. All right, well, 3 out of 4 ain't bad. Wait, I switched that. Only 1 out of 4 is working good. The 3 out of 4 are gonna need some work. So this one here is lined up nicely after I made the cut. This one obviously needs some work. this one on the curve, the glue didn't hold that well, and now there's a kink in there, so I gotta get in there and work on that and push each track sort of to the right to make a nice smooth curve through there. And this one was good. There's no cut here, but this is where the hacksaw hit the turnout, and that's when I switched to the Dremel. And it's a little bit bent, and you can see one of those ties is lifted up, so I gotta get in there and work on that to get that one to line up again. Over on the other side, I think we fared better. This is the hinge side, and it has been lowered and raised, and no issues over here. So I guess I could say 2 out of 5. Hey, in baseball, that's great. I'm hitting 400, but that means 3 out of 5 needs some work. So I'm gonna get cracking on that, see if I can figure out a solution there, and check back with you after that. Okay, well, gates down. Y'all, I am not a good carpenter. Gates down, and see if I can raise it and film at the same time. So it comes up. I think I'm gonna have to use 2 hands. Be right back. Okay. Just needed to use 2 hands because the bolts were slipping down. So when I brought them up, they wouldn't go in. So needed 2 hands to hold them back, bring this up, and then slide them over. So I put a bunch of, I don't know if you can see them there. Gosh, that's ugly. Bunch of track nails in, trying to align those rails. I may end up redoing this one, although I probably won't ever need to go that direction. That staging track is slated to go that way. And I was originally thinking, really there's only one train that's going to be coming from the south, which would be this way around and into the yard. And then I wanted to keep one lane open for a continuous run. So these two and that one look pretty good, especially this one that's closest to me, which is not surprising. It's more on a straight as it crosses here, which is probably better design than trying to do that through a curve. Just to test things here, there's 2 cars. Doesn't seem to be much of a problem there. Everything stays on the track. My cat says hello. Here's another one. This is the one that's a little off, but even there, it seems to be okay. I know that's just going to be problems unless I clean it up more. This one's the one with the kink in it now, but even there, it's not derailing. And the last one, no issues there. That's a nice clean one. So I'll probably work on these 2 in the middle a little bit more, but I think I'm on the right track. No pun intended. And then over on the other end, this one here, let me see which tracks I've got lined up and pull some cars over and show you. This one here. So with the Dremel clear, we can just show you that it goes right across there. No issues. So that's probably the best one. Let me work on these other 2. I'll come back. All right. This is probably about as fast as I'd run a train. Let's try it again in reverse. All right, we'll try it on the track closest to me here. Again, with some speed. So I continue to run tests, and this track closest to me didn't cause any problems. But that curve did. Coming this direction at any speed, the Jeep can't get through this bit of track right here. Must be sharper than I realized. I'll have to check that with the gauge I have. We're coming through the third track from me at speed. That's where there's a kink still. Navigating that fine. I don't love it, and I'm gonna work on it. But interestingly, handles that just fine, even at speed. So, thinking through that curve, maybe I need to make that come to this track instead of that one and broaden that curve a bit and have this be a dead end track, which would be fine. Of course, typical, that's the one that lined up the best on the joint after I took a hacksaw to it. Yep, we'll keep thinking. Okay, well, this is my inexperience showing. It appears I got a little careless here. Now that is an 18-inch radius curve template sitting inside, well, not sitting inside, that is tighter than 18 inches. And my Jeep would not take that curve. It is too tight. So, that's coming out. And rather than have this turnout connect here, that's a 22-inch template. That should, I think, just about work. I might have to go a little tighter than 22, and I don't love that, but this isn't gonna work. This will be much better, a much broader curve to connect this turnout to this track. So then I'll take this piece of track out, clean that up. This will now be stub-ended. Still need to clean that up. I'm going to take this track out, and rather than have a turnout over here, I'm going to come off of here straight into here, which then makes this stub-ended as well, which is okay. And then these two tracks will continue. The one farthest from me will stub. This nearest one will, I'll drop a turnout in right there. Most of the traffic from staging will be headed southbound. So this way, we're in the north heading south. So that would be the CNO traffic, the southern traffic, as well as Seaboard Airline traffic from Hermitage Yard. The only thing going from the south to the north, away from us here, is the Seaboard Airline train from, I guess I'm going to say Raleigh, but it's a point south, basically, heading into Richmond. So I'm going to do some rework, tear some things out, and, you know, this is how we learn. We make mistakes, and as careful as I've been with track everywhere else, I booted this part right here. So we'll straighten it up and check back with you when I've got all that track in. Now that I got the track out of there, I can see what the problem was there. Somewhere along the line, I did draw a 22-inch radius turn coming off that turnout, but somehow the turnout didn't align with it. That's not a tangent line at all. So there's the problem and some of the mess I'm making as I'm tearing things out and preparing to do it right. All right, cleaning things up here. This is that middle track. That would be my continuous run track. I did drop a nail in there on the gate, as you can see, to kind of hold the rail over. And it isn't perfect, but it's better than it was. I might stick a nail on the outside of the nearest rail there to smooth that out a little bit more. But the train takes that fine. And you can see where, you know, I just wanted to clean this up. I didn't want to have pink foam anywhere. So where some things got torn up and some holes were made on the two tracks that came out, I just put some putty in there. I'll sand that down, repaint this, and then realign those tracks as I described in the last little segment. All right, got my mess cleaned up. Got the new track in. So you can see which 4 will be through and which 2 will be stub-ended. I think that kind of gets the radius right. And these up here, I cut before I put in. This one on a curve, I'm trying it again, but this is less sharp. So I'll cut it in place, but this time I got rid of the ties and marked exactly where to cut it. Once all this is set and dried, I'll probably drive a nail or 2 in, just like I did up there.
before I cut it this time and see if that helps the alignment. So more to come. All right, on this end, being that it was on the side, I was actually able to use the jeweler's saw to run through that rail, and that seemed to do, yeah, obviously a cleaner job than the hacksaw I had to use in some of the other places. While the glue was still setting, I dropped a couple of those nails down in there to kind of hold the rails in alignment through it's a bit of a turn there, so it's a lot better. And I did test run the Jeep through that, and the turns got a bit wider radius turn there on that outside one, so I think that's good. So now, as I pan my way down staging here, my attention will turn to this area here where I need to drop in a turnout to pick up that track. So that'll be next. All right, I'm gonna wrap this thing up here and show you what I did and then run some trains. So obviously the gate is in the up position and all those lines have been reworked. The 6 staging tracks come on through. Still see some wet glue on that last one there. This right here, showing that first turnout there on the left here, that's the one I dropped in. So I kind of built off the compound ladder that was already here and then dropped the 6th track behind it. So to recap how the staging will operate, tracks 2 through 6, the ones nearest us that all converge in that portal over there, that's heading south. So we're standing north heading south, so that would be a C&O, a Southern, and a Seaboard Airline from Hermitage Yard transfer. Coming over here, the track's heading northbound from point south. There are 4 that go that way, and I'll probably only have 1 train, and it's the Seaboard Airline coming out of Raleigh. I think I mentioned that earlier, and that'll probably be situated on this last track that is stub-ended, but that should give me a pretty nice long train. I think 10 cars, a caboose, and possibly 2 locomotives, maybe just 1, but we'll see. I'd love to be able to run, you know, two locomotives on those big Seaboard transfers. So we'll see if all that fits, but I'm happy with how this turned out, and from here I will just run some train.